Next, we have an update from Adam Currey, who is the current president of the Association of Directors of Radiation Oncology Programs. Let me just unmute you here.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to share my slides here. Oh, it's saying I can't share. There, if we can't fix that, I can go off the cuff too if I need to.
I can give me one second. All right, give it a try now.
Can you see them? Oh wait, nope, hold on. There we go. How's that? Can you see them now?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for the opportunity for ADROP to give you a quick update here of what we're up to. My name is Adam Currey. I'm the president of ADROP. This is these are the members of our executive committee. I know many of them are in the meeting today. Albert Antilla is our vice president. Mitch Camarada is our immediate vice president. And then Steve, who I saw earlier in the meeting there, and Christina as well, who's online virtually, and then Marlene Concha, who's a member from ROECSG. So just for those that don't know, ROECSG is the Association of Program Administrators for the formerly program coordinators. So
sorry to interrupt, Adam. The sound is very muffled.
The sound is muffled? Okay. How about now? Is it better?
Much better.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so important to have their input on the board of directors or the executive committee for ADROP. So just a couple of things that we've been up to in the last year or so. One of the big initiatives that ADROP had was to educate program directors about holistic review. We felt that was absolutely essential to our field. I think as most people who are involved with resident selection and resident recruitment know, the applicant pool of our specialty has changed, and we really need to start moving, I think, away from traditional metrics for lots of different reasons. So the goal of a holistic review is to look at the entire picture of an applicant, their background, sort of distance traveled, and some of the challenges they've overcome. But I think within ADROP and discussing this with a lot of people, holistic review's been around for a while. So one of the big questions was how do you really operationalize that, right? We can talk a lot about what it means and what it is to do, but reviewing residency applications is a big long process. So how do you overhaul your process to make it more holistic? So we put together some workshops that were conducted in 2023 under the leadership of Rachel Jimenez. For those that may have missed those and might be interested in reviewing them, they are still available through our hub. But the goal of those was to walk through not so much the rationale behind holistic review, but just how do you do it? And in the future, we'll be surveying program directors to see how that was effective in terms of people adopting these types of changes in their selection process. Another thing that has come along recently that we wanted people to be aware of is that radiation oncology will be going to program signaling with this upcoming application cycle starting later this year. Now, you heard a little bit about, or in some of the offline components, there was some information about geographic signaling. This is very different from that. And I thought it was important to bring this up because I know there's a lot of program directors in the group, but also people who advise medical students in the group. So this is coming next year. For our specialty, we landed in the position of having 4 signals. That was with careful consultation with the AAMC, but that is not locked in. So it is locked in for this year, this application cycle, but it is not locked in for subsequent years. So we would love people's feedback. If people think that's too many, too few, we can change that from year to year. So if, as you're going through this application cycle, please let us know if you think that should be different. And then just a plug, the signaling works best when all programs opt in. And the AMC and ADROP as well encourages programs to value signal from their own students. There sometimes is a tendency in other specialties to say, oh, you don't need to use one of your signals on us, we know you. The problem with that approach is that disadvantages students who might come from medical schools that don't have residency programs or who have some of the financial challenges with doing away rotations, which we've heard a little bit about earlier. So the last thing I want to talk a little bit about is the issues around program director burnout. ADROP has started to conduct annual surveys of program directors about a number of different topics, but one of them has been about program director burnout. And it's something that we're very concerned about. Program directors have noted that their position can often result in adverse financial impact to their work, so it affects their bottom line. If they can't see as many patients because they're doing PD stuff, they don't get reimbursed as much. Many of them don't get the ACGME required time to do their work. And probably most concerning, we asked the question about how, if it were up to you, would you want to stay in the position of PD in the next couple of years? And actually, there was a very, very high number that want out of the position. So it's led to a high turnover of program directors. Many PDs are recent graduates, which in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the revolving door, I think, is concerning for a lot of folks. So we've raised this issue with ASTRO, and the board is very concerned. One of the things that Mitch Kamrava noted to the ASTRO board, imagined if program directors turned over as often as chairman did, or chairs turned over, and I think that would be a pretty damaging thing to our specialty. So one of the things we're working on now is now that we've recognized that this is a problem, trying to understand why, so we can sort of get at the problem. This past spring, we had a session on wellness, which Christina Henson led. We're looking at other things that we can do to try to help alleviate program director burnout as best as we can. But one of the things that I wanted to mention and give a shout out to ROECSG is I think you guys are part of the solution, and ROECSG is part of that bigger solution. I think from my standpoint, one of the challenges and one of the things that could contribute to burnout is a lack of recognition for work being done. And I know that this venue, it provides an avenue for educators to showcase what they're doing and the unique educational initiatives that they're pursuing. I know one of the themes for this meeting is empowering leaders, and I commend you all for doing that. And then also there's a lot of things that we're looking at in the future that we would love to collaborate with people on. Of course, there's always room for talk about scholarship and education, and that is a career path. We had a recent session from Dr. Price on SLO, standardized letters of evaluation. That's something that we're going to be talking about more in our upcoming executive committee meetings, and everybody is really excited about competency-based assessments and EPAs, which I know you guys have talked a lot about, both for residents and potentially for students entering the field. So if there are people interested in collaborating with ADROP and working with us, we'd be happy to do so. And here's my contact information if you need to reach out. Happy to take any questions if there's still time.